financial quarterback, taking your calls on all matters financial at 800-321-0710. We're taking your calls, 800-321-0710. If you have questions on stocks, bonds, annuities, mutual funds, the election, do you all want to see my election map? I'm hearing myself echo again. I'll make a prediction. I will give my real clear politics. I think political junkies and financial junkies go hand in hand. I don't care what party you are, but I love the feeling of an election. I was going to Atlanta the other week, and I saw all these Ben and Jerry's campaign commercials against the Republicans. And it's interesting how businesses are now getting involved. But I just find politics and viewpoints fascinating. But if I'm a betting man, which I'm not, I would venture to say that I could very well see a 53-47 Senate by Tuesday. So give us a call now, 800-321-0710. If you have questions on stocks, bonds, annuities, mutual funds, this is pretty damaging for the Democrats. I'm not doing this from a perspective of Republicans good, Democrats bad. I want everybody to feel welcome here. But according to the current projection by Real Clear Politics, these are the polls which are usually slanted in favor of the Dems by about 4 or 5%. Republicans are up 54% to Democrats 46. 54 to 46. That would be a mondo Senate change. They have the Republicans winning in Arizona, Nevada, Georgia, and even New Hampshire. I personally think it's more like 52-48. I think the Democrats will hold on in Arizona and New Hampshire. Anybody from a swing state that wants to comment on where they think their Senate race is going, I find it fascinating just to see, are the polls going to be wrong again? How wrong are they going to be? You have people like Herschel Walker. It was thought he was dead in the water due to various things that came about of his past. Not that his opponent really has a great past, but now it looks like Walker's going to pull it out. Dr. Oz, Oprah came out against him, and now for him. Now here's why, remember, there's a black swan, but there can also be a white swan. The white swan, as it comes to the stock market, is we could see inflation cool and gridlock resume, and then the stock market could rally as much as 20% over the next year. So that's a good thing. So I hope, one can hope, can't we, that the markets could rally. Joe Rogan is saying a red wave is coming that is going to be like the elevator doors opening up in The Shining. Steve Kornacki. Now, Rogan, I think he's in Texas, right? I don't view him as nonpartisan, but Steve Kornacki, who is a Democrat on MSNBC, says voters favor Republicans on 4 of the 5 top issues. So, interesting. Will this economy and the election be about inflation? You know what? If I was to run for anything, I would have made inflation the number one issue. Do you agree, Jim? Inflation. Because I think politicians are idiots. I hear these commercials and they talk about abortion or pro-life, pro-abortion. They talk about whatever. I think the number one issue on voters' minds is a gallon of milk. How much is a gallon of milk, Jim?
It's got to be close to $5 easily.
What? 5? Where are you going? Ours is like 10 because my wife's buying too much organic. But we buy organic from Costco. So we get 3, half gallons for like $11.89. That's a lot of money. I saw 1 gallon of organic milk. Guess how much?
How much?
$15. So the number one issue, so this is not about politics, because I love all Democrats and Republicans. You know, that is the one thing with the partisan divide. You can still love people and disagree with them. But I think a purple issue, both red and blue, is people are sick of paying $10, $5 for a gallon of milk, $5 for a loaf of bread. Jim, you're going to have to make your own bread pretty soon. Everybody, I'll give you a financial tip of the day. Learn how to make your own bread. It will taste better and you'll be okay if we go through a Great Depression. It's a lot of fun here. So but I mean this. I am worried to be an American right now, and I'm sure all of you are. And it's because our leaders on the left and the right for 20 years have said the debt doesn't matter. Getting the national debt under control should be the number one issue, because if we don't, a barrel of money will buy a bushel of wheat, right? Isn't that from the Bible? Barrel of money buys a bushel of wheat. Look up that verse, Jim. Your barrel of money buys a bushel of wheat. What verse is that from? Now, Kelly says, let's go back to COVID days when everyone was making their own sourdough. I want Kelly to comment on that. I was into making kombucha. I had a kombucha fetish where I made the best kombucha around. But kombucha has a very bad side effect, and they don't tell you about that. You really should only have a very small amount of kombucha a day for the probiotics. Otherwise, you get really itchy everywhere, and it hurts. So, needless to say, does anyone want to hear this story? Needless to say, my kombucha is the best kombucha there is. I make it with Newman's Own organic tea, put a little blueberries in there or strawberries, a little candied ginger. It is the best organic kombucha you'd ever have. However, I liked it so much, I was drinking more than the small thimble size you're supposed to drink every day. And it was causing me to itch profusely. So I've discontinued my kombucha making. So, folks, give us a call, 800-321-0710. If you have questions on finance. The Alchemist, he's going by The Alchemist. I knew a guy, he called himself the Financial Alchemist. I believe he's also a listener to the program. I don't know if you're him. He has a question. Go ahead, Alchemist. Go ahead, Alchemist. Go ahead.
I was asking if... Oh, shit, I can hear my mic.
Okay.
Okay, so what are the 3 things that you were talking about?
Well, very good, because I wasn't talking about that yet. That was like a cliffhanger. The 3 biggest mistakes for the recession. I will go to that after the next break, just so I'm a little there for you. Mortgage rates are soaring. Is it still okay to refinance your home? That's the next segment. Then we'll talk about the 3 biggest mistakes in a recession. And then an op-ed in CNBC says, don't reject the 60-40 portfolio, embrace it. Idiots. The 60-40 portfolio was proven wrong. I'm going to give you a 60-40 portfolio, though, that will be much more helpful in these times of uncertainty. Now, mortgage rates are soaring. We just heard a guy say, my home equity line is 7%. What do I do? There are 3 places to get 5% still or less on mortgages. You know what they are, Jim?
No.
Life insurance cash value loans. There are still companies that will cap your interest at 5% on a life insurance loan. Now, do you think that will last a long time? Nope. That product will probably be pulled off the shelf next year. If you want to learn about that, call us at 888-988-JOSH. So life insurance loans, number 1. Number 2, portfolio loans. We still offer portfolio loans through reputable companies like Fidelity, Interactive Brokers, Schwab, where you can get portfolio loans where you can earn up to 3.33 on uninvested cash. 3.33% on uninvested cash. That's pretty good, right? 2.9 in some, if you have a Fidelity account, we can show you how to get about 2.9 on your cash. Now, these things are subject to change if rates come down. But what's nice is a lot of you don't know about these things. I don't know where have you been. You're just talking to that nice person at the bank. But we can get portfolio loans. Portfolio loans. The lowest portfolio loans that I'm seeing right now are about 4.33%. That's still pretty good, though. If you have a portfolio, you take a 4.33 loan against it. If your home equity line is going 7-8%, and you try to pay it down that way, rather than pay taxes. So Kelly says we're going to have a kombucha brew-off. You know, I will tell you that the kombucha brew-off is not really, it's not my recipe. It's my brother-in-law, Kyle. And I will tell you what, his recipe is the best. So give us a call now, 800-321-0710. Acrobizer says, with the current state of the economy, what is an acrobizer? I think of like aerobics, like the leg jazzercise or something. With the current state of the economy in the midterms, this is on our YouTube. I want every one of you to do me a favor. Go over to YouTube, type youtube.com/@financial quarterback, right? Is it @financialqb or @financialquarterback? If you go to youtube.com/@financialquarterback, hit the subscribe button. You can see us live right now. You can see my ugly mug. See what I look like. Maybe you care. Let me see this nice tie that a beloved listener got me. And Tom set this up. So good job, Tom. Sometimes, he learns a lot of things about tech. Tom's our resident tech expert. So thank God for him. With the current state of the economy, is there a higher or lower chance of a Santa Claus rally this year? Now, predicting what the market does on a daily, weekly basis is futile. This I know, the market will probably be up 10 years from now. However, I would venture to say we will have a Santa Claus rally of some sort. I think we could see a scare in November and then a rally sometime around Thanksgiving. As people, they've been depressed about their portfolio all year. They want stuffing. They want gravy. They want cranberry sauce, pies. They don't want to worry about the economy. So I could see that Santa Claus rally really come to fruition. But that's me. So we'll talk about the 3 biggest mistakes investors are making during a recession next. This is Josh Jelinski, the financial quarterback. Don't touch that dial.
Maybe it seems like prices can't get much higher, or that the stock market is headed for bear territory, or maybe you're worried about another great recession. Josh Jelinski, the financial quarterback, can help you protect your family's financial future in times like these. Tune in this weekend to the financial quarterback to hear how Josh and his team can help you decrease your tax liability and lower your risk. Call 888-988-5674 to take advantage of Josh's 27-point plan to achieve financial health. And when you call, you'll receive a free copy of Josh's book, Retirement Reality Check. Tune in every weekend to The Financial Quarterback
There was a
and
way
call
we solved that with the
888-988-5674 to receive your free copy of Retirement Reality Check. Tune in to The
Seems like
Financial
the
Quarterback
girlfriend is
Josh
jealous.
Jelinsky this weekend and
What?
learn how to
I like
protect
your
your
nest
financial
doll.
future in a down economy.
I looked better.
Josh and his
I was
team at the
better
Jelinsky
looking.
Advisory Group can help you lower your taxes and
I look
lower your
pasty.
risk in these
Look like I'm
uncertain
in
times
prison.
with a 27-point checklist designed to
What?
improve your financial health. Whether you're worried
no.
about runaway prices, fear of an upcoming recession, or a stock market meltdown, tune
The way
in to The
Ernesto
Financial Quarterback
solved
and
it
count
is he
on Josh
connected my
Jelinsky to call
earbuds
the
to the
play.
phone.
For a free copy of Josh's book, The Retirement
And there was
Reality
some
Check,
way that I heard
call
the radio, too.
888-988-5674.
They did this
That's
December of last year.
888-988-5674. Or visit Jelinsky.org.
I didn't need $10
That's
earbuds.
JALINSKI.org.
Okay, we're back. This is Josh Jelinsky, the Financial Quarterback. Alchemist said, what are the 3 biggest mistakes investors are making? After a year of stock market volatility, high inflation, rising interest rates, many experts warn about a recession. Dude, we're already in a recession. Here are some of the biggest investing mistakes past economic downturns clients made, according to top financial advisors. I was not consulted for this. And I'm a top financial security professional in the country 2 years in a row by Forbes, top wealth advisor also in Forbes, best in state in New Jersey, as well as nationally with Financial Security Professionals Awards. You can go to our website, jelinsky.org/disclosures for more. Selling when the market drops is mistake number 1. I mean, like, duh. But if you have garbage holdings, maybe you should sell. If you have high growth tech, if you bought, Matman or Mega Man or Fangmant, Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google, Microsoft, Apple, NVIDIA, Tesla, they had an epic 7 to 10 year run. Maybe your portfolio should exchange a little more growth with value. Value lagged for 12 years. Maybe we should go back to values and value investing. So a lot of people say this, money's an emotional thing, but you have to remember the stock market has done well over time. Like this man quoted in the article as the number 41 advisor said, the biggest mistake is thinking you're going to get out low and buy in lower. I think there's some truth to that, but I think if you own garbage, maybe it's time to get out of it. Maybe you have things that have higher risk. So any one of you who's listening right now, that's you. You get to score, if you call me right now at 888-988-JOSH, you get to score your top 5 holdings from a standpoint of risk, fees, and taxation. So no, don't sell anything just because somebody says to over the airwaves, like Jim Cramer or whoever, but get your portfolio audited. And we'll do that for you at no charge, your top 5 holdings, 888-988-JOSH right now. Mistake number 2, curtailing investing amid volatility. While some sell when the market dips, others avoid investing altogether. So keep saving 10 or 20% of your pay into the market. I believe that. And mistake number 3, neglecting to rebalance. I'll give you mistake number 4, neglecting to audit your holdings. A lot of you have bond funds that have lost 20%. And maybe you go to treasuries, maybe you go to fixed annuities, maybe you go to cash value insurance. This is for the conservative component. A lot of you are in stocks. Maybe you're in high fee mutual funds. Maybe you're not in index funds. Maybe you're not in ETFs, exchange traded funds. Maybe you're in the wrong ETFs that went down. Maybe you're not properly diversified. Next up, we got Brucey. Go ahead. Why are non-bank CDs higher? Go ahead. I don't think your name's Brucey, but go ahead.
Yes, hello. My name is Ron.
Hi, Ron.
Yes, and Josh, thank you very much for the valuable service you've offered over the years. I listen to you as much as possible on Saturdays.
Thank you.
Josh, locally, we have someone, a financial advisor, who's representing a company who's offering CDs at 4.2 for 1 year, 4.4 for 2 years, 4.5 for 3 years. They list some provisions. I will just tell them quickly. It talks about subject to availability and price change, and CD values are subject to interest rate risk, such as when the interest rates rise, the prices of CDs can decrease. And if the CDs are sold prior to maturity, the investor can lose principal value. I'm trying to get my head around these high CD rates. And
Yeah, are these FDIC insured CDs?
Yes, it says bank issued, FDI insured. It does say that. Yes, it does.
Do you have a certificate number?
No, I don't have that, sir.
Well, that's number one thing you need. You need the certificate number from the FDIC that backs that particular CD. What you're talking about is probably a brokered CD. We can offer those. So rather than buying from some Tom, Dick, or Harry,
Right.
we can buy them from reputable custodians like Fidelity or Schwab. There are CDs that are paying solid rates. Those are called brokered CDs, so make sure you're not paying a premium for them, because you could get 1 year CD rate type annuities at 4%. You could get that have no risk to principal, no fees. So in some cases, there are fees for these or commissions, so you want to be careful about that.
Yeah, it doesn't mention anything about that, but I understand what you're saying.
Well, somebody's got to get paid. You know, who's going to buy those brokered CDs for you?
It does say yields are quoted net of all commissions.
I don't know about that. We'll see.
Yeah, I understand.
So I would do it with us because we don't charge commissions. We're fiduciaries, so we just charge our management fee. So it's transparent. You know what you're paying for. That being said, there are great rates right now for treasuries, CDs, and fixed annuities in around the 4 to 5% space. So, and you can do that net of fees. So, be careful to call us, 888-988-JOSH, if you're looking at fixed rates.
All right. Well, I appreciate your input, as always, and I may be giving you folks a call on this because, I'm looking. I have some money that's sitting there doing nothing practically, and this would be a good alternative, I think.
Yeah, a lot of you have money earning 0.04 at the bank.
Right.
So the bank is not your friend.
Right.
And now, so realize this, the bank kept you at low rates for the last 9 months.
Yes, sir.
And the little man at the bank now wants to sell you an annuity or a brokered CD at 4 to 5%. We've been telling you about higher rates for months now. So give us the business, 888-988-JOSH, and we will shop around for you. So you don't, we'll shop the top 3 product category for what you're looking for. Okay?
All right. I appreciate it very much. Thank you, Josh.
And we can do it over the phone, over Zoom, or in person. Give us a call, 888-988-JOSH. Next, we have Tobias, my buddy Tobias, with a question, and then Bill, and then the Alchemist again. Go ahead, Bill. You're on.
Hi, good morning, Josh. My question is, if you had a $500,000 cash settlement, and I'm 55 years old, and one of the thoughts I was thinking was possibly making a lump sum investment. I believe it would have to be roughly over a 5-year period to meet the TAMRA, EFRA, and DEFRA to invest it into an indexed universal life policy, mostly for the cash value and a lifetime income on that. Would that be something that would be feasible, or would it be better to look into municipal bonds or an indexed annuity? We were thinking the universal life for the tax-free income for life, possibly.
Wow, how do you know all this?
I've literally spent about 3 or 4 weeks Googling, researching, and YouTube videoing myself to death.
Wow. So, but you never talked to me yet. So I will educate you even more. So index universal life is the rage. But there are 2 or 3 big negatives when considering index UL, bank on yourself policies, that if the advisors aren't telling you about this, they should. One is cost of insurance increases. Two is the companies can lower the caps. And three, there are better alternatives where the cost of insurance is fixed and they cannot lower your caps. So you can give us a call at 888-988-JOSH and I'll tell you about that. I do like insurance over muni bonds. Here's why. If you have a lot of money, your MAGI calculations and your Social Security can be taxed on municipal bond income. I have nothing against municipal bonds. Some people hate insurance and annuities and they like municipal bonds. We have many clients who love municipal bonds. But with life insurance or municipal bonds, they kind of pay about the same over time. Don't believe the people who say you'll get double-digit rates with no risk. Those are generally charlatans online. Generally, you're going to yield 4 to 5-ish% on any insurance product. That's how they make money. Sure, you could make higher. There are caps like 9.5%. If the salesperson is really good, they'll say, you know what? You could buy an uncapped where you have unlimited potential. Wrong. Uncapped just means it's a formula rigged by the insurance company. So where, you could theoretically make more than 9.5, but do you really think an insurance company is giving away something? So you got to be careful. That's why you have me. I wasn't born yesterday, and I'm there to help you. Any other questions on that? I would say you're in the right church, the wrong pew. Okay, Bill?
Okay. Yeah, no, thank you very much. Because everything I was reading was very concerning with, like you said, how they have control over changing things at the anniversary of every year. And my concern was based on every year that goes by, as we get closer to the surrender period, will they then start changing the cap rates and lowering everything to then, like you said, to then actually decreasing my actual ability for it to grow? So I do appreciate your answer. Thank you very much.
Now, it's not that I'm against IUL. You just have to manage it like it's a mutual fund. And you need the right person to help you. It's not a mutual fund. It's an insurance product. But what would happen if an insurance company did that? Well, you could 1035 exchange it to an annuity or to another insurance company. You want to examine, what is the insurance company's history of raising cost of insurance? Because they have two levers to pull. They can lower caps. And that's not a bad thing. Like that in and of itself doesn't make it bad. But you want the person putting you in the product to be cognizant of those risks. So if the policy does start to screw you, they pull you out of it. Does that make sense? And they don't wait 10 years to pull it out of it. So it's not that they're looking for a reason to screw you. It's just that they might have a lot of deaths that year. You know what I mean? Options pricing may be very high. The reason why caps on index annuities and index UL is very high right now is options pricing on long call options on the S&P are very low right now. It's cheaper to buy options. So they're passing on that savings to you. But there will be times when options are more expensive. So that's what will lower the cap. So it's not like it's they're trying to hurt you. It's just there are levers they can pull that you want them to pull so that they don't go under. But I prefer policies sometimes that have a fixed cost of insurance unless you want more potential. But I don't think I would say right church, wrong pew. Hope that helps. Great question, Bill. And folks, when we return, we'll be back with Tobias. This is Josh Jelinski, the financial quarterback. Don't touch that dial.
Maybe it seems like prices can't get much higher, or that the stock market is headed for bear territory, or maybe you're worried about another great recession. Josh Jelinski, the financial quarterback, can help you protect your family's financial future.
Okay, we're going to go to
these.
Tobias.
Tune in this weekend
and
to
then
the
the
financial quarterback
Alchemist,
to hear how
if
Josh
we have
and his
time.
team can help you decrease your tax liability.
Yes, Alchemist. I'm running a live New York radio show. So there has to be a certain flow to it. We generally
achieve financial health. And when you call,
put
you'll receive a free
questioners
copy of Josh's book,
first of
Retirement
order. Some
Reality
call
Check.
into the
Tune in every weekend to
800-321
the Financial Quarterback and
0710
call
number.
888-988-5674
The audio quality is better.
to receive your free
So we
copy
generally
of
put them in
Retirement
first,
Reality Check.
and then Clubhouse. Okay, next up, Tobias on the big mistakes investors are making. Go ahead, Tobias. Toby.
Yeah. Good morning. Sorry for the background noise. I just had a question about the third mistake, the fourth mistake. I'm pretty familiar with what number one and number two. Well,
this is from the article. Number one, selling when the market drops. Same with Bitcoin or stocks. Mistake number two, stopping investing amid volatility. Mistake number three, neglecting to rebalance your portfolio. I'm going to add 2 or 3 more. Mistake number 4, neglecting to audit your holdings. You know, some of these articles say do nothing. Well, what if your holdings stink? What if you're in higher fee funds that you shouldn't be in? What if you're overweighted to Russian vodka right now? What if you overweighted to Disney stocks or to Meta or, woke capitalism, which tends to be imploding this year? I mean, that is an investing theme. We should have woken up January 1 and we should have shorted all woke companies. We would have probably made a lot of money doing that. But I would say mistake number 4, neglecting to audit. Mistake number 5, not looking at value investing. There are great value ETFs out there that are low cost and they buy a little bit more profitable companies. So if we do hit a recession, they're still actually making things real, more recession resilient. Not guaranteed, but for example, did you know, Toby, one of the best categories of stocks to invest this year was property and casualty insurance companies because they can make more money on the float. Who would have thought that? Did you hear that on CNBC? You might hear that now. You didn't hear that in January because I wasn't on CNBC. I've taken a little hiatus. I was on it for a while, and I found that I enjoyed spending more time with my clients. However, I'll probably go back to TV maybe next year. Then COVID hit. I also got sick of schlepping to the city. Killed the whole day. But now I have a studio in my office that works 90% of the time, so maybe we'll go there. I'll give you another mistake, not considering tax-favored things like Roths, cash value insurance, and I'll give you another mistake, being underinsured, not buying disability insurance, term life insurance, not having an emergency fund. If you need term life insurance or disability insurance, we'll talk to you for free, 888-988-JOSH. Why I am sick of watching people put up GoFundMe pages on social media because somebody died and didn't buy life insurance. Here's the thing. I'm gonna say a bold statement. So don't, it may be offensive. If you love your family and are insurable, and you don't have 10 to 20 times your salary in term life insurance that's cheap, I would venture to question your love for your family. I really would. Now, that's not a good way to encourage people through guilt, but maybe you don't know. Maybe you never heard that. Maybe you say, oh, my wife's going to be okay. My wife's a beautiful woman. Someone else will remarry her. That's a poor financial plan. And I've known many widows who were attractive for various reasons, didn't have term insurance. Their husbands didn't have it. They died, and they're alone to this day. It's tough to remarry when you have 2 kids or 4 kids or 7 kids. Who the heck wants to be a father? Now, you might have found Mr. Right, but you don't want your spouse to be forced to remarry because you did bad planning. So remember Monopoly, the game, do not pass go, do not collect $200. If you're thinking about investing in stocks or a 401k, and you don't have term insurance equal to 20 times your salary or disability insurance equal to 2/3 of your pay, do not pass go. Do not collect $200. You shouldn't be investing if you're not protecting. That's why an acronym I want everybody to write down is PSNG. Robert has a great question. I have no family. Why buy life insurance? I didn't tell you. I said if you have a family. If you don't have a family, don't plan on having a family, you don't really need life insurance. You may want it, and I'll tell you why in a moment, but you definitely need disability insurance because you're relying on your income. So if you're single, have no kids, you got to get disability insurance equal to 2/3 of your pay. And you might say, but my employer has disability insurance. Yeah, typically your employer has it for 2/3 of your pay up to 100 grand. So they'll pay like 66 grand. But if you make 180 grand, they're not paying 2/3 of 180. They're not making 2/3 of 200 grand. So you got to get a rider privately that you buy to cover the money above that. Does that make sense? So if you have disability insurance, make sure you check with your HR department, make sure it's 2/3 of your total pay, not just your base pay. If you don't know how to get that, we can help you. Call us for free, 888-988-JOSH. Disability insurance is very critical. Here's why insurance, the Alchemist is saying it's playing defensive. Yes, defense wins championships. I became very successful financially because I focused on defense. Who's going to protect your money? You know, do you want to build your plan so that you can never be poor again or that you're rich? Most rich people would say, I built my life so I would never be poor again. They don't say, I'm trying to swing for the fences. You know, we have Ben, who's a Phillies bandwagon jumper. He's always been a Phillies fan, but he's a little bit more enthusiastic this year than the last 10 years. I'm glad. I'm a Yankee fan. I hate the Astros, but I'm glad the Phillies are going to lose. You know why? Those Philly fans are the most obnoxious fans. I'm sorry, all my Philly fans. I love you, Philly fans. My wife's a Philly fan. My in-laws are Philly fans. Go Phillies. But they didn't care about the team for 12 years. Sure, you're a Philly fan, right? But it's oh, we stink. But as soon as Philly gets hot, the town, literally, the earthquake. Did you see that? There was an earthquake. The actual fans in Philly registered on the Richter scale from their enthusiasm. So the Phillies, the Eagles for me are the Philly people, they always like the Eagles. Always. Generally, no matter what. But the Phillies, they're like hot and cold with. And as a loyal baseball fan, long-suffering Yankee fan, think about this. The Phillies and the Yankees, I'll give you Philly fans this. This is how bad the Yankees have been. They've won the same amount of World Series as the Phillies in the last 20 years. It's pathetic. But I mean, this Phillies team, though, I will tell you, I wish a lot of them were Yankees. Schwarber, Harper, great players. And they're playing. I mean, if they lose 4-2, they did better than the Yankees, who got swept, who apparently they're doing nothing to improve the team, which is pathetic. Anyway, so Alchemist says he's from Philly. Yeah, I could tell. No, I'm kidding. So Tobias says, I think if the Eagles won the Super Bowl, we're depression bound. I don't know. The Eagles look really hot, but I just find the Phillies. I was at a Philly wedding. Now, sure, everybody at the wedding was into the Phillies in 2008, 2009 when they won World Series. But for some reason around 2011, all the Philly fans got depressed and they just turned off for 10 years. I don't know. Me, I'm always a loyalist of the Yankees, even when we suffer long. So we're giving you a lot of tips. So here's the thing. You must make sure you have disability insurance and term insurance. Then you can save 10 to 20% of your pay in order to get rich in investing. But you don't want to become poor and penniless and need a GoFundMe page when you die. Does that make sense? That's simple enough. Why are we seeing so many GoFundMe pages from friends? Have you seen that, Alex?
Yeah.
Alex is a young man. Have you seen that, Ben? It's because these people don't have life insurance. So they die and they leave their families penniless. And you ever see, you know what's sad? I always look and see how much have they raised. If people feel really bad, they raise like 10 to 50 grand. Most of them don't raise that much. Here's the other thing. Who audits the GoFundMe page? Like, where does that money go? You know? I think I want to create a company where it's like GoFundMe, but they make sure that it goes to the actual intent. But it goes to whoever sets it up. So there's no auditing. The guy, they could say, oh, I set up a GoFundMe page for my daughter's college fund. But how do you know it's going to go to the daughter's college fund? Right? I remember in Florence, New Jersey, there was some GoFundMe scam. So just be careful. And I'm not against you being generous. I feel very heartbroken. I've had tragedy in my family. I'm sure you all have. But it would be solved if everybody bought 20 times their pay in life insurance and disability insurance. So give us a call, 888-988-JOSH, 888-988-JOSH. We'll be back after these messages.
Tune in to the financial quarterback Josh Jelinski this weekend and learn how to protect your financial future in a down economy. Josh and his team at the Jelinski Advisory Group can help you lower your taxes and lower your risk in these uncertain times with a 27-point checklist designed to improve your financial health. Whether you're worried about runaway prices, fear of an upcoming recession, or a stock market meltdown, tune in to the financial quarterback and count on Josh Jelinski to call the play. For a free copy of Josh's book, The Retirement Reality Check, call 888-988-5674. That's 888-988-5674. Or visit Jelinski.org. That's JALINSKI.org. Maybe it seems like prices can't get much higher, or that the stock market is headed for bear territory, or maybe you're worried